Who's Thunder?
Dave, you're on the list. David's Thunder. In the room. David,
Oh,
we can
yeah.
talk. HTML5.
That's true.
We lost our audience anyway.
Well, you guys are being recorded at this stage.
Okay. What do you guys want to talk about? Talk about anything. Any questions for me? What do you think of the conference? Any improvements for the conference we could make?
Let's do that.
Oh,
that's good. Feedback.
I do have a suggestion. I think that on the pamphlet on here, it's a small suggestion. Schedule, yes. I think that it's very small, but on the top guys, locations would have been helpful.
Yeah, I said that. Yes.
All right, you guys already talked about it.
No, I mean, no. The more,
Yeah.
I'm an unofficial. I'm an unofficial.
Understand.
But you're one. There's a team, right?
Team,
There's
yeah.
There's 10 people like on the team.
Yeah, I mean, that's something people need to understand is that we are a small team. Nobody gets paid on the team. We're all doing this because we believe it's worth something, it's valuable. We don't even pay our speakers. We do reimburse our speakers for expenses, but this is generally this is just, you come here because you want to be here, and you're not paying any money, not even keynotes. So last year we actually did this where the speakers actually traveled on their own expense from them. And so that's why we were keeping ticket prices so low last year. But we really didn't want to, we're not going to sustain ourselves with not being able to reimburse a speaker for international travel. So we introduced a $600 stipend reimbursement for those speakers who give us a receipt. So that's why the ticket price went up a bit.
Worth it.
I think it's worth it, but it's, not everyone knows that, so I was going to mention that in the keynote, but I was sick with it. But the other thing is that we also, people don't realize, is on Friday, the night before, we do a speaker dinner. And we have about all of our speakers and their spouses, including the organizing team, and we're trying to treat our speakers with a nice dinner. It's basically the thing that they get. It's a sort of a nice break, and we can give them a good meal. And it's sort of our time to get to know everybody, the organizers. And we've been working on this thing for a year. I've been working on this thing for over a year, including the organizing team. So it's like doing a wedding, you know. So on the first day, my job is done. So it's now the speaker's job, and everybody else's job. So it's a lot of work, but we like it, and it's a lot of passion. There's a lot of people like yourself who will have your feedback. And, so we're just trying to do the best we can.
Well, I think the video is going to be wonderful because last year there was only one class I would have, one session which had two that I wanted. This time it was three. So I'm going to use the videos to see the
I'm
elements.
glad to hear that.
But at the same time, I've been copiously taking notes because I'm learning a lot. And I wish that every speaker's presentation was made available.
It is actually, that's probably not communicated that well.
Well, the speakers aren't telling us that.
Some of them are. Some of them are.
Yeah.
We're going to fix that at the end. We're going to pass out all the materials that we get.
So here's the question. So sort of related to that, is there going to be a way, like on the Northeast PHP site, like a post that says, "Hey, your speaker slides here's
Yes.
all the okay."
Yes, you'll all get an email. We'll lay it all out for you. You can visit each speaker page and go know where their joint in feedback goes. There's a discussion forum down below. I mean, it could be better. You know, this whole site was written by me and a friend. It's not Eventbrite. It's not WordPress. But I'm so proud of what we've been able to put together. I think there's a lot of great improvements you've suggested.
Yeah. So one of the trickier things is that it's Boston PHP, but there's so many different parts. Like there's the whole UX track, there's the whole other track too. And I think maybe just as it's like a brand new thing, right? So is it necessarily PHP if like a third of it is not PHP?
Yeah.
And then but that's actually like something that's good. It's not really a bad thing. I'm just saying like you have like a lot of people coming anyway. This is something that
I was going to talk about that in the keynote, and I'll mention at the end. I want to get you guys' opinion if it's too cheesy. But I get asked all the time, like you guys do, people like, man, we don't know anything about PHP. What does PHP stand for? Right. And I bet if I asked everybody that was here today, I might get different answers. You know, everybody remembers what it was first started out. But when I tell everybody on the street what it stands for, they're like, what? It doesn't make any sense. Right. So I held an event here one time where I asked everybody to brainstorm what we could call ourselves. Because I was feeling this way. PHP, we're leaving out a whole bunch of other people. Yeah. There was so much uproar about changing that. It was really funny. And it surprised me. People are really attached to the name. So what I've been doing is I'm just now telling people that PHP stands for Programmers Helping People. Or people helping people helping programmers. Because the point I want to make here is I think what's different about PHP, why I like it so much, it's not necessarily the language, it's the people. people that are around it. They're people just like me. They're creative people. They learned on their own usually. They'll do anything you ask them to. They're just very devoted.
It's very accessible.
Love solving problems and sharing what they've done. Great. I mean, you go to some other languages, you won't find that necessarily that camaraderie, that skill, crazy ideas that get actually made because we don't know any better. So I like PHP as a crowd that we have here. And I actually manage a team of Java developers, so I'm not just knowing. So
Well, and what's funny and supports your statement is we had those wonderful T-shirts last year. I thought it was very clever. I wear them all the time. I wear it regularly.
Yeah.
I have not found one person that knows what it means.
okay.
They don't
It's
even
an opportunity.
understand the
It's an
hard
opportunity.
parts. Well, it is, and most of them kind of like, they don't want to really be looking at it, but they're trying to figure it out. So I brought home the new T-shirt last night, showed it to my wife, and she was like,
That's really confusing, yes.
it's a nice color, but if you like the T-shirt, that's great. So it's like,
And you're not crazy about the T-shirt.
I love the T-shirt. Nobody else that I know will love the T-shirt.
Very just like that.
So it's not enough to give me the opportunity of even opening the conversation. One very good friend said, "The hell is that?" And my mother did, which of course, I can't. There's no way she can comprehend, so it's beyond. But it's a T-shirt for me, but maybe it's a T-shirt that should be more open to actually inviting
Feedback.
conversation.
In fact, I'm thinking about next year, maybe we have a contest, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's so many people that like what we're doing. I mean, I found someone posted on Twitter, there's a couple that are here, with their Facebook, or their Twitter profile pics, I gotta find this, is them in a field wearing their T-shirts. I gotta find it, it's very, very funny. And the T-shirts are from last year. I felt really good when I saw that because I didn't realize we had that kind of a fan.
Yep.
So, good advice on the T-shirt stuff. Getting back to the PHP thing though, what I tell people is the reason why we're talking about UX and not everything else, not just PHP. I believe PHP developers are the game changers. We've created Facebook, we've done Yahoo was built with PHP. I mean, if you saw the keynote, World.
WordPress.
Yeah, exactly. The world is huge with PHP. And I don't want
Mailchimp.
PHP developers to not know about how to build great user experience. You may not have to be a user experience designer, but I know that if I arm you guys with those kind of skill sets, you're going to go off and build a better world for better applications.
This could also be more exciting conference, so I think, I don't think it's explained, right? I think
No, not at all.
I think it's an asset of the conference, that you have such diversity. It's also great to mingle with so many people, different perspectives. I think it's
Preaching to the choir here, we're all.
I know, well, maybe you guys could be,
So-
help us get that message
Right,
out.
so the other thing, and I think I mentioned this last year, which is, and it's not here this year, we still don't have an introduction to PHP programming. Like, there's a lot of people who are brand new, they've heard this PHP thing, they're not quite sure what it is, and we don't have like a thing where we say, because you're so right that, and so I've gone to Ruby meetups, I've gone to Python meetups, and you're right, the personality of the groups are very, very different. And I'll say even on camera that, PHP's been, in my opinion, most welcoming, most open in terms of like anybody can come, anybody, you don't need to be a rocket scientist in order to, be there. And you guys meet people where they are, It's not that other groups don't do that, it's not intentional on their part.
Right.
But
Not their culture.
it's not their culture, right? But it would be great for next year's conference to have like introduction, how to get started.
Like that one I did.
Right, yes, you did one a while ago, which was like, and I told you, it was like the best, like, because you made a web app like in 10 minutes, right? Just to show like, this is not super complicated, this is not super hard, and you're right, because PHP is often the language that people who are self-taught learn first when they're getting into web development, because you don't have to do a class or get a degree or whatever. You can just sort of pick it up as you go and do some cool stuff. And like you said, a lot of these people have turned out to make incredible products that, had the learning curve been different for like, a Ruby, a framework, Python, Django, whatever, they might not have done that.
I agree. And the PHP developer doesn't get started by learning PHP first. They want to solve a problem first. It's like you find different people, scientists. We held an event once where we had invited anybody to come up and show us anything cool they've done with PHP. I was blown away with what people do. We saw a guy design a website that built to show properties of real estate, it's 3D photos, it's amazing. We had another game designer who built these the word magnets to put on the refrigerator. He built a website and a portal to buy his product online. We saw someone who invented some sort of technology to help assist cancer research, a doctor. I mean, these are people who aren't developers, but how are they able to create this tool solution? Well, that's because of PHP and the community.
So kind of on that, I think one of the things that might be helpful is to have like so first of all, there's another room, and so if we're focusing on developers, like you can have first of all like somebody talks to them might be like a intermediate, beginning expert, but like people who are not at that level, maybe there could be like if there's an expert talk, maybe that other room could be
Fourth
like,
track.
right, but like just like an informal like how do I do something like
Genius bar.
so there's no
Yeah.
people
That's a
who
real
know
good
that
idea.
expert topic,
Yeah.
people who don't, but like getting people
I'd probably sit there and ask.
Yeah, so
or just
maybe one of you guys, or this would be great if the community started putting these things together. Maybe
Yeah.
give you guys a community one room, and you guys put whatever you want.
yeah.
Because it's a lot of work to find presenters and put all this stuff together. But
Yeah.
it'd be so welcoming to have you guys do something like that.
Yeah, I think that's very important.
Moderated discussion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's kind of what we're doing here.
Exactly.
I'm kind of excited what we're doing. It's
And
pretty
it could be like a one-on-one too. I think something that's really important that you touched upon that I think is definitely something that
Feedback,
join us.
Q&A.
Is this the?
No.
It is.
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure I'm in the right place.
I think it would be very helpful, and you just mentioned, kind of passing, is definitely that each talk should definitely have stated in it the level of difficulty. It's very important. I know there are a couple of common things where, just by the title alone, the description, I thought it was going to be, like, advanced, and said, not so advanced. Which I mean, no dig on whoever was presenting, it was just something that I wasn't expecting.
You knew that up front.
I probably would have gone to a different.
Right. And that might be we don't have the time, we have day jobs to actually review everything.
Oh no, but I mean, a request from the submitter or something like that,
Right.
Or self-moderation is meant for, in set whatever level.
Oh, you would say as a conference like, here's criteria for beginner, here's criteria for intermediate, here's criteria for advanced, right? Because the other thing is like someone might go to a session where it's way over their head, and then and they really need to be like in a beginner or intermediate session and not in an advanced session because they're not there yet.
I think that unfortunately what ends up happening is people see the different sections and do that so they think PHP that must be advanced. Or like, design that must be remedial. Or,
that's good.
front end that might be intermediate. And I don't think that's necessarily the way it is. I mean, the front end class might be very remedial. And the PHP class might be very remedial as well. Maybe the design class is something really advanced in design concepts. Right? So,
There is something to be said with melting everything together, though. I mean, it is, you don't want to send everybody down this track where they're already familiar with most things. And I'd like to see sometimes someone, maybe a junior developer, be exposed to something that's a little more advanced.
Isn't that up to them to decide, right?
We have to be broad, and so broad is like one dimension, right? So broad or specific, but then there's also intermediate and advanced. And I think those are kind of two separate domains. And I think that's so it's kind of generally easier to say it's intermediate, whatever, but like it's easy to do both, but they are kind of advanced. So that's.
Do the keywords help? Did you guys notice on the website, one thing I did is when someone submits a talk that they want to come talk about, they have to pick like 5 or 6 keywords that are representative of what the talk is. I don't know if everybody noticed, but that's a great way to find stuff because there's an intermediate link that you can click and show you all the intermediate talks.
I must say from a user experience, I didn't notice.
Do you notice?
I noticed it, but I chose not to use it. I wanted to get done with the story.
I definitely went to where I personally did is I went to the chart right away, and I actually looked at the chart, just kind of reading down the chart. Right. So the chart, like the visual of this is definitely a lot based off of. That's good. So,
But then I went directly to read what it was after.
Yes, I clicked on the talks to get more information.
Anybody go to the workshops?
It's funny you should mention the workshops. I didn't realize that the workshops were on Friday. So, I was here last year, and I think most of the workshops were.
We didn't have workshops last year.
No, there were those 2-hour lectures that were kind of like
Oh,
interactive.
you mean they were mixed in?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really, really good. I thought, so I was not saying I was disappointed, but when I got here Saturday, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I missed a whole day of workshops. But I hadn't done website early on, we signed up for it, and I just didn't revisit it.
Right. I had a similar experience where,
Is that Taylor?
it seemed like,
Blake?
I remember seeing you last year.
I remember seeing you last year.
We do some more, yeah, I have a real estate software app.
It seemed like the workshops were added on later. It seemed like that when Northeast PHP was announced, that they were not initially part of it, then it kind of got added on later, but it wasn't clear that, like sort of you said, if you signed up early on, you didn't even know there were workshops, right? And I don't know if there was any way to communicate with people and say, hey, by the way, we've added a day of workshops. You know,
Or communication if you better, right?
yeah.
Even a reminder.
I mean, we did have stuff, but it was, I can see how you would find it.
Yeah, I'm sure you had stuff, but my other comment regarding the workshops, if Saturday, Sunday are lecture intensive. Not everyone has a Friday to devote to a workshop. Maybe throwing in some interactive sessions after the talk, so like if I go to a UX talk, then maybe there's 45 minutes of Heather leading a few kind of hands-on.
Hands up, right?
Like, I feel like it's a little, it's nice to mix it up a little
It's an
bit.
extension, so people who just want a cursory view of what this thing is, they leave. If someone wants to really dig in,
Yeah.
it's all the people who walk up to the podium at the end.
Yes.
Exactly.
Let those people go somewhere else.
Right.
And,
That could also be the G's bar type of, the G's bar idea.
But this would be more more formatted for that topic already.
So,
And then
depends on how
not
much
having-
people leave.
at O'Reilly conferences, they have office hours. So typically
Right.
after about an hour after the talk, you move the table or something. And you tell people during your talk, I'm going to be there for an hour. If you have questions,
nice.
talk to me later.
But making sure it doesn't conflict with the other talks. Like, I remember last year, I'm like, okay, I did some of the 2-hour ones, but and then I was missing,
I know, we fixed that,
So
but
the
we
other
went
UX.
too far for you.
yeah.
We thought moving it on the Friday, a lot of people do this on the Friday. What I was told from my team is that generally people who are from companies, it's easier to send them on Friday for the workshops, they get comp that day, and then they get Saturday and Sunday, seems like it's a.
It's just the opposite for us independent guys who I can take Saturday and Sunday, but Friday's a work day for me. So I looked at the classes and said, I'll take the day off and drive an hour each way if I can get a morning class and an afternoon class that are worthy of, something I need to know. And then I'll take the whole day off just to take, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and then I'll drive each way as a commuter.
Is that what you did?
No, I chose not to because when I looked at the classes, I didn't find anything that was pertinent for my skill set.
Have you named him?
Like, yeah.
That's right, we met last year.
Yeah, I remember you. I was
Yeah,
trying to look your
sorry.
name. That's all right.
Yeah.
I can't remember everybody's name, so.
Yeah.
It's the hat.
It's the hat, I'm bald over here, so.
That's actually a good point about the, right, so I'm like you, Friday is typically a work day. Not so much in the summer as much, but, because people are waiting stuff, because when you're self-employed, almost every day is work day. But I can see how, when I was at MIT, right, if I do a month ahead time, take that Friday, go to say, sure, no problem, right, So different audiences have different, ways that they can, get time off or whatever, especially if they go in advance, right, that's gonna happen.
Well, part of that ties into like, to what degree is this a local conference where people are flying in to here? I think, like it seems like they're in Florida at least, like different parts of the country, there's in Dallas for but
There's a lot of these events happening.
Michael, how many are registered for this year's?
I didn't look at the numbers because they're mixed up with workshops, a lot of workshops.
It seems that there are fewer.
It's less people, it's about 200,
And like last year was what, 400?
300. And you have to, we didn't sell as many, I think it might be because of the price or maybe fusion of the workshop, so, I think next year we have to reevaluate, the price, because I was disappointed that, we didn't sell as many, but, to me, what I tell my team, how many people come to the conference does not indicate the quality of the material, so sometimes I think it was small number of
This
people.
is great, no complaints.
We did need a big number, so 200, no small.
That's excellent.
In fact,
It's nice not having, there's
Boards,
definitely,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's how less been a trend, like, you know, where people are now trying to have smaller, more intimate and more focused conferences instead of the 5,000 people.
Yeah, I don't want to get to that level.
We can get, but also, you know, we have a smaller number of people, you know, we have a more focus and more attention to certain things, sort of like what people are saying.
I want everybody, I wish I could make it free. I want everybody to experience going to one of these. You don't know how many people I meet never get a chance to go to a conference. Their boss says, no.
Well,
They have to fly somewhere to leave their
So
family.
let me
It
say
bothers
this.
me that they have to fly to California to go to some of these events.
Yeah.
You should have something here. That's why you did it.
So let me say this right, in response to what you just said, I think you could do that, that would flip in this model, like, we have enough tech companies here that could sponsor a thing where nobody would have to pay to be here, right? Part of it's like, if that's something that you and the team would be interested, because, you know, a lot of people do events like that, right, where, you know, with Microsoft and with, you know, Google and all the people that are just in Kendall, right, you know, they do, you know, ahead of time, you know.
So, on the heels of that comment,
Yes.
it may be worth thinking about next year, having a module for business owners, startup owners, so focus on that sort of higher level tangent.
And what would the content be?
Hold on. And then offer, maybe charge more, because you probably could, have, you know, sort of a different track for those people. And then offering those people some discounted price to send their employees or make it
Oh, I
free.
see. Yeah, yeah.
Right, so all of a sudden you're
There you
getting, like, let's say I'm 50 employees, I'm a local startup, and we've got this incubator, you know, based on the startup community that's ramped up the past 2 years. So me as an employer, you know, I'm not so granular, you know, but I man, let's say I need to know some key things about what my team is doing, right? So I have some talks focused on that, business challenges, P&L stuff, the new freaking software tech, what, you know, the higher level business.
Yeah,
In the
that's
meantime, my people are 50 guys or mix are,
I would like to bring more of that topic. One thing
so
that I
that's
brought
what
this
I'm,
year.
you know, it's all
No,
too
I like that.
How to hire great engineers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that to me is a little bit like that.
Yeah, but more, but have the whole track.
So-
Like a business owner.
No, I like that because the way I'm thinking about it, based on what you just said, you could have that pay for the conference, right?
Exactly.
Because if you have, you know, like a high level, high value thing that companies and startups, but also established companies would send people to, they would pay what companies used to paying for these kind of things. If that was subsidized,
So,
But you don't wanna make it free, you want people to pay something.
Yeah. $99 is a
So
great
speaking
price.
of that-
This is my point,
Yeah.
it's like, so go back to sort of business owner part. For me to send 50 people for only $99 or $150, it's cheap.
Yeah.
Oh, my
It
goodness.
is, for what they're getting,
Yeah.
the content that you're serving up would cost me, you know, probably, I mean, I don't have 50 employees, but I'm just saying, my small company, to replicate sort of the takeaways, would probably cost me $5,000 or $10,000.
You know, I'm not the only one. Triple A's here. And they just found us a couple of weeks ago. They didn't even know the conference existed, but when they heard, they sent all their engineers.
Right, so.
And it became a sponsor.
Right, so I just think it could be a really, in terms of the sustainability and longevity of the conference, engage business owners,
Yeah.
send their team members here at either the market rate or a discounted rate, and then offer a track for startup business owners, the management side, like that's.
so there was this conference in India, and they had 2 rates. If you wanted a receipt that you get reimbursed from your company, you have 1 rate. And if you have no receipt, you get paying out of pocket.
Oh, wow.
So it was
What's
really.
the name of that?
It's called FOSS.in. FOSS.in. And it was something like 500 rupees without the receipt and 3,000 rupees. So almost a 10x difference.
I've heard, there's,
I'm not sure that would fly here, I'm not sure.
It's a bigger
No, but
scale.
I mean, it's similar like that, you know, people are paying out of pocket, they get one rate.
I often thought that one time I have 3 kids, and one time we wanted to do a lemonade stand. They were gonna price it 50 cents. And I advised my kids to not put a price. My kids made like $70 that day. Because people didn't have a price, and they just paid what they felt they were getting the experience from. So one idea was, do you think it would work if we actually just set a minimum price and have people put in what they want? Or if not that, maybe we can get people, as they register, show them things that they can buy that pay for real items. Like, for example, one of our keynote speakers, one of our keynote speakers is needing some more travel money. So it's really cool. You can buy your ticket and actually pay for the speaker to come. Or they kick into
like a honey fund.
That'd be awesome. I like
Is
that.
that like a weird kind of, I mean, as a speaker, that's like a weird, like, this
It's one
donor
example.
bought for you to
It's
come
one
here.
example. But
Yeah, and I'm thinking, I know, speaking of that one example, I'm just curious how we make this strange kind of interaction.
Well, the reason I came up with the idea is because we tried it last year. A couple of these speakers, we didn't really find anybody here. They were tweeting, trying to find anybody who would be willing to sponsor them for the company, but we ended up not doing it.
So I think one of the tricky things too is the timing. So like, this is so I work at BU, there's literally no students in office, right? Which means that there's no faculty, which means that it's less busy for me, which means that it's easier for me to come. But it's also really nice outside. There aren't any students, so it's hard to get. I mean, if you could have students, more students come, a lot of them aren't in town right now. So they're not. They're at home.
They're on the way, 2 weeks from now.
Exactly.
So
But that could be like.
Getting
all
to
of you all
timing
stuck
on
underneath
like,
the steel bridges.
One of the reasons we chose August because there wasn't much going on. I mean, there's so much going on. You gotta think about.
Yeah.
You know, there was a ball game yesterday. We had a meeting with that. I wish the weather was raining. So.
It's a good point. I mean, you definitely get, I mean, if one of your goals is to increase enrollment, if you wait till the students come back, that would easily increase enrollment.
Mostly if you have a
I'm actually
reasonable
not
price.
really interested in enrollment because it doesn't show quality. I'm interested in making the best experience. And when people walk away, they feel like what you said. Wow, that was really good. I didn't expect that to be such a value that I actually can send more people. You know, there's nothing better than sending the team to a conference like this. You got so much stuff.
Right.
Do you think that experience is directly related to the number, or I think it's more related to the organization that you guys put into it, and then the speakers themselves, right? So I mean, if you have 50,000 people watching versus 10 people watching, it can be the exact same product. You know? I mean, if it's 50,000 people, it's very congested and uncomfortable.
Well, I go to this webinar, the guys that get out across the street. I usually don't go to other meetups or conferences because I'm too busy doing this stuff. But someone told me to go to the webinar stuff, and I felt very uncomfortable. There was way too many people. It's just not. You
Yeah,
actually
it
could.
is.
It felt like the cost had opened maybe, but I didn't feel like I could actually walk up to someone and say, "Hey, what do you do?" Which is too much. So I don't ever want to turn to that either.
Yeah, I agree.
Can I switch the topic a little bit? And I don't know how appropriate this is, so it's off the wall, but we're brainstorming. I've always wanted to go to like a hackathon. I've never been able to go to. I've never been able to go to one.
Yeah.
And we're a bunch of hackers here. We all do PHP.
Right.
So I wonder if there were something that, a little bit more hands-on kind of thing. How do you solve the problem? How do you do,
That's it.
That could be part of it.
So we're trying to do that with Boston PHP.
Right.
So that was one of the reasons I went to this hackathon. I was like, this was through, this was here actually, but there's so many of these
in the
things.
fall?
One in
This
September.
was just a few months ago.
There's like several hackathons a month around here.
I went to this because I was like you, and I can't put one together if I put them. But I was surprised how little organization is done at this hackathon. They don't do anything to put the right teams together, so unless you know.
That's not a
somebody-
good one.
Right, so I want to see if we can put one together where we actually have projects already defined.
That would be really
It
cool.
depends, right?
And the
'cause-
focus is learning.
Right, well, because hackathon is a concept that's still pretty new.
Yeah.
So people are trying all kinds of things. This Angel Hack happens to be a thing more around, right, coming together, put together a team, create something in a weekend, and the grand prize is to get, to go to the national Angel Hack, pitch investors. So it's more of a startup thing.
Yeah.
But if that's not our thing, I agree with you that
Our thing is the learning of
Learning.
PHP,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
or user
Yeah.
interface,
That's
or
right.
whatever.
That's
our
why I
tech
would
is.
like to choose the projects ahead of time.
Yes.
I have projects ready to go, and they're useful things, But the focus should always be learning. Once it's actually a new idea,
The learn-a-thon.
people find, oh, that is a great idea.
Yes,
We should-
yes,
you-
that's
you-
the
you-
one.
you-
You can run with
Right.
it.
Honey.
I will give that, you can
What do you
give.
call that other one? Honey pot. And the honey pot.
Well, honeypot has a dedicated,
Yeah, it's already something.
I'm just
Yeah.
picking up some terms that I like.
Well, yeah, in security, honeypots, it's a
yes,
specific.
big, big thing.
To faithfully speak of honey fun.
Honey pot.
Honey fun, yeah. But a learn-a-thon would be wonderful.
I like that.
And if we had specific topics, you know, I don't think it should be necessarily tied in with this event. Because if you were coding all weekend, then you're not doing the sessions. But, you know, it's the same people. So, you know, if we get to know each other and we're comfortable with each other and then we'll learn-a-thon and we work, you know, for a weekend together, we could make some good stuff. Most of us are pretty, you know, we program all day, every day.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe
we can knock some stuff out.
Maybe
You know?
we'll do the learn-a-thon could be actually building some of those features we want to build for this conference as well.
Like the
It
site,
could be,
like the site
yeah.
itself, right?
Yeah,
Like
the
site
site
itself.
itself even.
Because see, if you had a learn-a-thon, I would have made it responsive, so that it would work on the iPhone and, you know.
There you go.
Yahoo Hack Days, the Hack Day registration thing actually was a Hack Day run.
That's good. People like you're giving.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I wouldn't do a thing like a lot of hackathons which are overnight in 2 days. You know, I would do something where you could have Inspire, because now you are seeing conferences now where day one is like a hackathon, right? Like, but not a, you know, not all day all night, but like, you know, I've been to just, you know, 9 to 5 or whatever kind of hackathon where, right, you're creating something for the conference. I've been to things like that where those things get used at, you know, because it's also a good example of, you know, I love how, you know, if something changes, you're able, you can fix it right away, you know, and that's the advantage of having an e-road, right, versus some commercial thing that you can't.
Do you guys know about Code for Boston? So Code for Boston is so Code for America is like a national organization, right? But so the way that it's structured is that there's fellowships and someone who works at a Google or whatever will take a review salary, it's $35 grand per year, and then they're in a different city doing a civic project. So that's Code for America, but they also have a volunteer organization in each city. So Boston has one called Code for Boston. And the idea is that so it's every Tuesday at the CIC, and it's like 20-something people will come each time, but they're civic projects. So one of them is they're looking for people to be adopt a hydrant to like enhance things. So a lot of times there'll be something that's started. So adopt a hydrant is a thing where you can say, so a hydrant has to be dug out, but someone can take ownership of that, like the citizens.
Snow.
Exactly. So that
Oh.
yeah, exactly.
We will get there.
My brain's so, but they have like a lot of projects and they have a lot of things that they want to do. And it's generally like the younger crowd. A lot of them are doing Node, a lot of them are doing Ruby, stuff like that. But that could be like an opportunity for like that's actually those are my like that's how I'm learning Node and all these other things too. But I'm primarily PHP and it'd be nice to have like beginner people doing PHP projects for that stuff too. So it's just like another avenue, but it's for like civic good.
And it's the focus is not learning. It's
Well,
more about the.
it's technically about doing stuff for the city, but the level of the projects, they're all pretty small. And they I think they really.
But, and you also have to think, a lot of us don't live here in the city, so, you know, I live on Cape Cod, so it's a pain in the ass to get here.
Well, so they also have like, the reason I'm mainly thinking they have something called random acts of kindness, which is like a veteran thing. And so that would be like a longer term. And sometimes those might be existing projects which are most of it, like all of it, is on GitHub, so you could like familiarize yourself with quite a bit if you want to.
Yeah. I think one of the benefits of us getting to know each other over time too is when you have these learn-a-thons, you don't have to knock the whole thing out of the weekend, but if you got some structure and you've got some base code, people can take pieces of it home with them and, you know,
So many
contribute.
people I meet, try to learn PHP through a book, they've been coming to our events for a long time, they actually they still have not brought it anywhere further, because they don't even have this next stage.
Right, I had a woman from, one of my customers from Florida, send me an email this week. She's a teacher at a school and her sister has a brick and mortar store, so she helps her with an online store. And I provide the online store with But one of her fellow teachers has a young son who took some programming classes in school and is now working at McDonald's or something. But he'd really like to get into programming, but doesn't know how to make that next leap. And so she's trying to figure out how to help the person, and was asking some advice. And one of the things that I told her was, you really have to have you can teach yourself programming. Anybody can do that, but you've got to have a purpose. You have to have a reason to code. You got to be able to have a goal of I'm creating it to do this function. That you just to say I'm going to program, it goes away because there's not that target that you have to complete. So being able to create some of these reasons and products or outcomes is the way to be.
And I think it's important that you work on someone else's requirements, because if you come up with your own thing, you're gonna take the easy way out and you don't challenge yourself in the same way, so.
Not everybody, but the bulk would be
Right.
yes, absolutely. It's part of our today's society.
When I teach PHP, I like to teach people who've never done any programming. And so it's a challenge, but I like layering on the information. And I also have this technique where I don't show them the necessarily exact way to do it, which is like a pattern, which is accepted. For example, let's say I'm teaching
Best practices.
Yeah, so I might not teach or talk about SQL injection at the time. I'm talking about how to query a database. They don't need to know that now.
Yeah.
There'll always be someone in the back of the room that says, "But wait a minute, you can't do that." And I say, "Wait a minute, no, this is the easiest way to learn." And then later on,
Incremental learning.
we'll bring up a point where there is a SQL injection. We'll know we make this connection. You can't do that unless you learn yourself or you work on real projects.
I've actually debated on doing some teaching of PHP because I'm cutting around a whole bunch of PHP people. It'd be nice if we had like a little local chapter. But in order to do that, you're gonna have to teach some people because there aren't anybody really there. And I said, well, geez, maybe I should sit down and write a class in PHP. And it's like, oh, this is what I need to do. But maybe if there was a canned, series of presentations, 15 classes to get you through the basics of it, and that presentation we could give out to members, we might be able to run some classes.
Yeah.
So the Python group is, I forget the name of it, but it's to get women involved in programming, and it's women only. Men are only allowed to be there as a guest. And what they do, so part of the trick with that
Girl
is,
develop it or something like that?
what's up?
Girl develop it?
I don't think that's the name of it.
Girls
It's-
who code?
It's something like that.
There's a few different.
There's
Yeah,
one in
I know
K-pop
that
too.
So what's tricky about it is like the first night was setting up the environment, which was like, okay, now you have to figure out what a shell is, you have to figure out what LS is, you have to set up your editor and all that kind of stuff. So those are like the first steps that everyone's gonna need. Like we just take that for granted, right? But that's actually like kind of a barrier to entry right at the start. So if you have a Mac, if you have a PC, there are gonna be different ways to get into that system, and then you're gonna have to deal with the terminal or something like that. Or not, right? Or maybe there's like, unless you just have PHP files or something like, and that's gonna be, so there might be, that's like the zero flow, right? And then there's finally actually writing like echo hello world, but to get there, it's the tricky.
It's more than last year. I don't have those numbers, but you should pull that up. But I want to bring more women in tech here. I'd say maybe 30.
But I would say there are more women at this conference than I typically see at tech
Not
conferences.
maybe like, but
Yes.
substantially better than last year. But I want to improve it. I was
Yeah.
talking with a friend of his last night that's really into, why don't you tell her about your friend?
She's doing a startup, a crowdfunding platform for women entrepreneurs. Because it's so much harder for women to raise money and for all kinds of reasons, and typically they're not in networks that, and there's double standard around women and founders and versus men founders, that kind of thing. So
There's that old obsolete mentality of, oh, she might have a baby and then my money is gone, right?
See, I want to break those things down. I want to break those.
It's like,
well, I mean, we typically don't, name one female, startup founder that's like, well, no, right? I mean, very few people can actually do that, right? Everybody can talk about, Zuckerberg and Bezos and Jobs and blah, 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 blah. You better have very few women who people can name, like that. Exactly. So there's that. So she is, she's doing that, like to create this platform. But like I said,
Where is she?
she's just in the, she wants to do a prototype, so I'm helping her out with that, to get an MVP, right, minimum viable product up and running, so that she can show some investors, and, so in a month, we'll have something, and she might, and so I might go invite her to come to Boston PHP and talk about what she's doing and show stuff.
That's what I love to do, is that because
I'll
of the,
make sure I go to that one, that sounds awesome.
Turns out there are a few other of these crowdfunding things out there, but there's a lot of, one thing I didn't know that she told me, that less than 10% of the population knows what crowdfunding even is, has even heard of it. A big job, it is, and a big job is educating people how crowdfunding actually works. So they know real world examples, but when you use that term, they don't think Kickstarter, they'll think Indiegogo, remember, we're all in our own little tech bubble, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to have a meetup on this thing, because this is a funny story. About 6 months ago, I went to a meetup, a fellow who was running a meetup in New Hampshire. He started his own meetup in New Hampshire, and I went there to sort of support him. And there was a guy there who didn't know any PHP, didn't know any frameworks, he will live on HTML. So somehow, him and I went to another room, and I taught him PHP, and even taught him some frameworks like JavaScript, jQuery, and even PHP. So we sat together for like 2 or 3 hours, and I kind of felt this stuff was going over his head, but I was going fast. 3 months later, I find that he wrote a book on PHP. It's the #1 seller. Yeah. #1 seller Kindle book on Amazon. So I call him. I was kind of first, I was a little upset because
Because you didn't get a royalty.
no.
Did he get acknowledged?
Well, did you hear this? I
Okay.
was a super guy. He did, but I don't know. To go talk with him, he started a Kickstarter. He said, I want to create this book. He did a nice video, and he raised like $30,000, more than he wanted, but it was great. And then he started writing this book, and what he told me he did is he's really good at taking notes while he learns. And he basically just writes the book while he learns. The book is not thick, it's like this
It's a good way
thing.
to learn, like I've taught people things to learn it myself.
Yes.
The best way to learn is to teach someone.
Absolutely.
And that's probably the
secret.
best possible way you could write a book on something like PHP, is to write it as you're learning it while you still don't know what they're talking about.
I've always wanted to write a book, so I'm gonna this guy, what's wrong with me? I should just, but get this is the amazing part. So I'm expecting that he has to give money to all these people, he has to use that money to appropriate where the money goes, but you know what? He spent like only $2,000 out of that $30,000, he can pocket the rest. And he's getting these royalties from the book.
Well, if it's self-published,
So here's what, so
He's writing
if
a
people,
bicycle book.
any of you guys, if you could go out and do a Kickstarter, I'm sure you can raise money for what you want. But because people don't know about it yet, so we should have a meetup on that, so we can show people how it works. I mean, I need to learn, I don't know how it works.
I ran
don't
a-
have time and patience to
I ran a successful Kickstarter for a music project a few years back. So I have some tips, maybe fully in that realm. I'm sure some of those tips could be applied to
I was gonna say,
web
you
dev.
apply
You should get your name, because
Yeah.
you're gonna need people to talk about it, so.
So one of the things that
I live in Muscle.
I really don't like the language wars. Like, I think that's kind of a pain in the ass. But I will say this: like Python was one of the first languages that I learned. I still go to a lot of the Python group meetings.
And they let you come here?
That's
Do they know you're here?
That's the kind of shit that I hate.
He's not gonna tell you.
Shit that I hate.
I will tell him that you're here.
But this is what I'm saying. It's not a matter of war. It's a matter of like what you see first is significant, right? So we got people who have never programmed before PHP. They will most likely be pretty loyal to PHP just because it's their first, right? So like at that other level, that's just like a way of like recruiting people in that and being passionate about that language.
And you can flip, you can help them. A few years ago, I did at Boston Gate, we did a job there. I think it was the first one we ever done, or maybe the second one. It was hugely attended. And I've been doing Boston PG for like 4 years, and we've grown just a big number. This guy comes, came from California just to go to this event, and he told me something that really stopped in my tracks. And he said, for some reason he can't understand. He works for a staffing agency. He can't believe doesn't know why all the PhD jobs seem to be coming up over here. So, gave you this impression that maybe we create a little bit of a groundswell of PhD development.
That will be true, and I know because I go to Python too. All these people that I need a Python developer, I need a, it does create a locus of of attention and focus about people who tend to want a certain kind of language developer or framework developer come to the meetings where those people attend, right? So and I remember the job fairs. I haven't been to a PHP one lately, but the first few were like, wow, as far as getting people to come out.
Well, I want to do another event on job. I want to do a different kind of job fair. What I want to do is, if anybody went to this one over here about the hiring, it's a big problem with hiring and talent and stuff. There's so many PHP developer jobs, and I keep hearing there's not enough talented people to fulfill those jobs, right?
Where
So
do
I
you
like to have
see
a
those
PhD
jobs? I don't typically see them in my world.
Okay, well, I'm still trying to figure this out myself. So what I'd like to do is hold a roundtable discussion about this, practices, how we can sort of change some of these challenges.
I live in Sarasota in the winters, and the Craigslist for whatever it is, software developer somewhere at the bottom of the jobs, they got PHP requirements all the time, every week. It's just ongoing. I've never seen so much PHP in my whole life. No, they're companies looking for employees.
We gotta get you organized with some of this
Do you
stuff.
follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
That's where that should
Right.
sit.
We don't have anybody, we don't have that kind of people here. We have mostly the developers, students, people. You want to bring another dimension. Of, and I think it's good, you want to do that because I think it'd be helpful to pay for.
Well, I think, yeah, and it's good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
There's a session at 11.
There's always this disconnect between management
Yeah, right.
and all of a sudden, recruiters, all the business, but when you sit there talking and stuff that just doesn't apply to my team, but what are my takeaways, right? So there's also that piece of it, so what engagement.
Yeah, 'cause a lot of managers send their team, but they don't go.
Exactly.
And then it's hard for when you come back after an event, you can talk all day long about how great it was.
Right.
So you're thinking.
It's a great idea. Because you're talking at a different level to managers and product managers, maybe people have to decide. Because some of these guys are deciding we're going to use PHP, we're not going to use PHP, and so I totally what you're saying in terms of we need something geared towards them to be able to say, if somebody makes this kind of decision. I bet many of these people don't even know about entities in PHP, right? Mailchims in PHP, all the other things, right? So it's not just an obscure language that hardly even use anymore. It's other thing too, right? PHP community is not good at promoting itself the way other language communities are,
Even if you have some like your HR, your tech HR people, and we have talk about, the talent gap and the tax stuff and the high, all the hiring, just saying.
Let's not
We
talk
need
about
someone else, we
taxes
need someone on
today.
our team who's really, has to, you should join us.
but it's funny because but that software tax that it went into effect at the end of or beginning of this month, that would have been a totally relevant, especially for self-employed. I could talk about that all day because I've already met twice with the Department of Revenue about this thing, and they are convening because they're caught in the middle, right? Legislative passed law.
Right.
They're not technical. They are trying to every week now. They're updating this FAQ they have, right? And they don't know. I had to tell them between different open source, commercial, different open source licenses and everything because they don't know, right?
Why don't we, did you have connections there? We should have a roundtable discussion.
You're talking about for taxes?
Yeah.
We're talking about tech tax.
The software tax.
We were gonna talk about that, but we decided not to because we didn't try to remain neutral.
Well,
Well, I wouldn't take a side. Just explaining it. Yeah.
I wanna bring
I'd
I wanna
take a
bring
side.
people inexperienced over here to talk, have a roundtable discussion on one side versus the other. I agree, they don't know.
Well, when the legislature comes back into session, there's a lot of, as you can imagine, a lot of upset people about.
right. I'm so upset, I'm changing my residency.
What?
I'm moving to Florida. I'm changed my residency from
Wait,
Wait,
First
where
time
do
I've
you
heard
live in
that.
Florida?
I have Massachusetts residency, I pay Massachusetts state tax, not this year,
So I have a
last
question.
year. It's done.
Who handles the copy for the website, or who, the reason I ask is this, I looked at the website and there are a few, things, a few speaker, descriptions, or not speaker descriptions, but talk descriptions that have some grammatical
Typos,
snafus, couple typos. And when I see that kind of thing, I think,
Yeah.
you know, I think it's a common thing for us devs to maybe be bad spellers, because if our code is mistyped, as long as we're replicating that exact same spelling, we're fine. But when we apply it to what somebody sees,
Such a pain.
I think that's are either really bad spellers or really super anal, picky,
Totally.
perfect
Yes.
spellers.
Not like we don't have spell check and everything.
So to answer your question,
This is
I'm being
developer
responsible
of that, I don't
for copy,
trust
but
that.
the descriptions of the talks were actually done by the people who write the talk.
So I'm wondering if,
But they should be edited. They
It's
should
nice here we edited them, but they didn't have a chance.
in the future, I think to have somebody go through those and just review them, like principal versus
You're right.
Al versus slip, or,
Right, principal with principal, yeah.
right, and then there's another one where it was like
Your and yours everywhere.
like
Oh, I hate that.
a plural word with a non-plural article,
Yeah.
like, stuff like that, or whatever. But
Possessives, yeah.
If that's one of the only problems we have.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have.
I'll add
It's
an
what
edit
we can
button.
solve,
Yeah.
it's what we can solve is the point.
Yeah.
You ever heard of
Alan's
grammar-
calling.
I think next year I'd like to go to.
You know CM Punk from wrestling, WWE, he's a world
Spend too much time working on
I don't even know who he is, but
Amen, brother.
he does a bunch of short,
He
he
needs
did a
to
bunch of
do
short
that.
videos for nerds.
Well, I can even see you using the same thing, you just use the
Like
like
corrects their
plugin.
terrible
You
grammar.
ticketing,
Nice.
Freaking
We don't want to
hilarious.
pay the fee. It's called Grammar Stone.
Grammar
But you
stuff.
take a credit card, you gotta pay a fee, there's no free lunch, right? You gotta pay a fee somewhere, right? But, you know, we could,
It's how many fees you need to
no, I understand.
I just wouldn't have a PHP conference and use someone else's technology for the website. Just had to-
Well, no.
We open sourced it, so what we're trying to do is we want to let other communities that want to put together our mission, they can use all the stuff that we
No,
created.
I agree with that. Just that, I would just do the ticketing, because, you know, the code, the thing, the barcodes automatically generated, the reminder, you know, the data, like people's address, all the stuff, you know, men, women, all that is already done. And you still should have your custom thing, right?
We have a name of the company that does that.
Thank you.
Yep.
See you soon.
Thanks.
Yeah,
guys,
so,
see you there.
time for the, soon for the 11 o'clock session, but thank you, everybody, for the feedback. I'm taking notes.
Roman,
This is UX at URLs?
Yes.
I'm waiting for it.
Thanks, guys.
You must want URLs, that sounds kind of.
It's very interesting.
Does anyone know this?
Yeah,
I mean, should it be showing up on the monitor here?
We've been talking. Peter Riley wants to do it. What is this, Linux? What is this?
Yeah, it is Linux. It's plugged in? Yeah, it's already been.
Yeah, Linux, yeah.
So, yeah. The widget.
Oh, good. I wonder that one, right?
Do you have different size hats? Because I swear the hats get bigger.
You got bigger?
The teeth is bigger.
I was wearing like long button down shirt. the other
Okay,
day, and
okay.
Probably.
Oh, that's what this is supposed to
But I'm saying you have like large and extra large, you know, like.
We're gonna go to the John movie night on 7:30.
Where's it playing?
We're gonna all make fun of it together.
He might not make fun of it with you.
No, I
You
was.
like him.
No, I like the guy, but I'm sure that it's gonna be all kinds of inaccuracies in the
Right,
movie.
right.
I like what he did. I don't know if I like him.
Um,
He's kind of an asshole.
You know, some people, you know, would have shitty computers.
Yeah.
cycle back and forth to get them.
Probably
He would have zero.
Well, you would probably,
We missed out on
you
that.
would probably have CPM slash,
But we never would have had the next computer.
that's true. And we wouldn't have had, Pixar, because he bought Pixar, he bought Pixar.
I think it might be the best I can
It's
do.
7:30 for a dog.
All right, thank you.
We got it over here too.